Good morning, class. How's your day going? Okay, great. That sounds good. So before we are going to start, let us pray first. Let us bow our heads into the presence of the Lord as we pray.
Our dear Almighty Father, we express our sincere gratitude for the gift of another day. We ask forgiveness for our sins, for which we lay our regrets and sorrows. Thank you for your overflowing and unending patience, kindness, and love that you shower us every day of our lives. Today, as we gather for this special event, we humbly seek your divine providence to help us share your grace to others. Help us engage in meaningful discussions by giving us wisdom, understanding, and guidance. Help us learn and grow and love one another so that we can become better children of yours. Amen.
Okay, amen. So, once again, good morning, class. So, class monitor, who are our absentees for today's class? Okay, very good. Continue that kind of attitude. So, as we go forward, let us watch a short video first. And take note, class, you need to watch this and observe what will gonna happen, okay?
Yeah. No. And then he did what? What? What?
He's like that, isn't he?
That told him. And then what happened? He never.
Morning.
Yes.
Have you got the disease?
No.
Has it hurt again, darling?
No.
But doesn't it? There.
No. Look.
There's nothing here.
Hello?
Okay, so after you have watched the film or the short video, class, what did you observe? By the way, guys, who is the main character in the short film? I know that you are all familiar with him. So, who is he? Yes, Adrian? Yes, correct, Adrian. Very good. He is Mr. Bean. So, what did you observe in the short film? Yes, John Lee. Yes, very good, John Lee. Based on the video, John Lee said that the customer service approached Mr. Bean through negative way. So, Mr. Bean is finding a mug that he wants to buy, but the customer service is keeping to say no, or they doesn't have that kind of mug. So, very good, John Lee. Any other hand, class? Yes, Ernest? Very good, Ernest. Ernest said that the customer service has a negative attitude. So as you can see, she is biting or chewing bubble gum while she is at her work. So okay, very good, Ernest. For the last time. Yes. Erica. So, very good, Erica. Thank you. Erica said that as Mr. Bean entered the store and he looked for the list of their mugs, even though there is a mugs that Mr. Bean's looking for, the customer service is keeping on saying no. So, very good, Erica. So, thank you, class, for your participations. And next, I have a questions for you, class. Did you ever encounter that kind of situation where negative situations from a store owner, cashier, or any staff, guys? Yes, Ernest? As of now, you don't have any encounter about that kind of situation. Okay, that's nice. Any other hand? Okay, none? Okay, let's proceed. So, I have another questions, class. What kind of products or goods are you buying or expensing through online or physical store? Yes, Erica. Okay, food. Another? Ernest? Yes, clothes. Another? Yes, Adrian. Okay, services. And any other stuff, okay? So all of your answers are correct. Thank you, class. So, on what way do you buy those products, services, or goods? Yes, Pierre. Through online. Okay, another. Through physical store. Okay, thank you. So, class, you need to choose on those two ways on how we buy products or goods, and you need to tell the class why did you choose that way on how you buy products. Okay, let's start with Tanisha. Yes, very good, Tanisha. Tanisha said that she wants to buy products through online because it is easily to access and there are a lot of choices, and there is a discount when you buy online. On the other hand, yes, JD. Okay, thank you, JD. JD said that he wants to buy those products through physical store, and he said that because you are able to see the quality of the product and the price if it is suitable for that product. Okay, thank you, class, for your participations. Moving forward, our topic for today is about legal protection of consumer and the consumer's rights and responsibilities. So let us define the objectives of this topic. At the end of the lesson, students should be able to A. Identify the legal protection, basic rights and responsibilities of a consumer, exhibit the values of responsibilities, protection, health and safety as a consumer, and perform proper decision making on students' everyday living as a consumer. So those are the objectives of this topic. Let us now define what is a consumer. Okay, class. Consumer means a natural person or purchaser, recipient or prospective purchaser, lessor or recipient of consumer products, services, or credit. Which means we are all a consumer. We buy products and we consume them. We buy clothes and wear them. We buy food and eat them. So that's what we mean when we say consumer. Okay, next. Another definition of consumer is consumer are someone who buys goods like foods, clothes, just like what I've said before, mobile phones, books, magazine, or appliances. And also, they are the one who expense services such as driver, technician, electrician, beautician, card, a travel agent for their own use or personal use. Did you understand, class? Do you have any questions? Okay, very good. Okay, next let's proceed to customer versus consumer, which will be explained by our next instructor.
Customer versus consumer. Customer is a person or entity who purchases goods or services from a business, and the consumer is the end user or the person who uses or consumes the product or services. Consumers has 8 rights. These are: first, the right to basic needs; second, the right to safety; third, the right to information; fourth, the right to choose; fifth, the right to representation; sixth, the right to redress; seven, the right to consumer education; and lastly, the right to healthy environment.
Consumers have 8 rights, and these are: first, basic needs. To be guaranteed the survival, adequate food, clothing, shelter, healthcare, education, and sanitation. So, basic needs typically refer to the fundamental support and resources people need to survive. Example of basic needs include food, shelter, transportation, clothes, clean water, education, mental and physical health, and access to quality health care. You may look forward to the availability of basic and prime commodities to consumers at affordable prices and of good quality. So, second is the right to safety. To be protected against the marketing of goods or provision of services that are hazardous to health and life. Means right to protected against the marketing of goods and services which are hazardous to life and property. The purchased goods and services availed of should not only meet their immediate needs but also fulfill long-term interest. So the third one is the right to information. This is your right to be given the facts you need to make informed choices and be protected against dishonest or misleading advertising and labeling. So, before purchasing a product, you can read its label carefully to know its use, content, number of pieces, proper handling, and manufacturer. And next, the right to choose. This is your right to select from a range of goods and services at competitive prices with an assurance of satisfactory quality. The right to choose is a consumer's right to have access to a variety of products and services at fair and competitive prices. In cases where there is a lack of competition, consumers will still rather have a right to quality products and services at fair prices. So you can always canvass for prices of similar or wide array of goods and services offered in the market before purchasing.
The right to representation. This is your right to express your interests as a consumer in the making and execution of government policies. Representation refers to the way a product or service is presented to the consumer. It is a crucial aspect of consumer protection laws as it ensures that consumers are provided with accurate and truthful information about the products and services they are purchasing. Misleading or false representations can lead to consumer harm and breaches of consumer rights. Therefore, businesses are required to ensure that their representations are clear, honest, and not misleading. For example, let's say a food company advertises its new line of organic snacks as 100% organic and free from artificial flavors and preservatives. These statements are examples of representation as they communicate information about the product attributes to potential consumers. The company is making a claim that the snacks are made with organic ingredients and do not contain any artificial flavors or preservatives. This representation helps consumers make informed decisions about the product and aligns with their preferences for healthier, more natural food options. However, if the company's claims are found to be false or misleading, it can lead to consumer harm and breaches of consumer protection laws. Therefore, it's essential for businesses to ensure that their representations are accurate, truthful, and not misleading. The right to redress. This is your right to be compensated for misrepresentation, shoddy goods, or unsatisfactory services. Redress is a fundamental part of consumer protection laws as it ensures that consumers are not left out of pocket due to poor quality goods or services, misleading advertising, or other breaches of their rights. For example, you purchased a meal at a restaurant and found that it was significantly different from the description on the menu, or that it was undercooked or overcooked, causing food poisoning. In this case, you has the right to request redress from the restaurant. The redress could be in the form of a refund, a replacement meal, or a discount on their next meal at the restaurant. If you suffered any health issues due to undercooked or contaminated food, they may also be entitled to compensation for any medical expenses or lost wages incurred as a result. The specific redress offered will depend on the circumstances of the case and the policies of the restaurant. The right to consumer education. This is your right to acquire the knowledge and skills necessary to be an informed consumer. You can read newspapers, magazines, and other materials that may educate you on how to get the best value for your money. Consumer education refers to the process of providing consumers with the knowledge and skills they need to make informed decisions about the products and services they purchase. Consumer education is an important part of consumer protection as it empowers consumers to avoid scams, make informed choices, and hold businesses accountable for their actions. By promoting consumer education, we can help to create a more informed and empowered consumer base, which in turn can lead to higher levels of satisfaction, trust, and loyalty in the marketplace. For example of consumer education in food is the nutrition facts label that is required on packaged foods in many countries, including the United States and Canada. This label provides consumers with information about the nutritional content of the product, including calories, fat, sugar, and sodium. By understanding the nutritional value of the food they are consuming, consumers can make more informed choices about their diet and make adjustments as needed to meet their health goals. Additionally, many food companies provide resources and information on their websites and in stores displays to help consumers make healthier choices, such as recipes, cooking tips, and information about ingredient substitutions. These resources can help consumers to better understand the products they are purchasing and make more informed decisions about what to eat. The right to healthy environment. This is your right to live and work in an environment that is neither threatening nor dangerous but rather permits a life of dignity and well-being. The government then must play its role in enforcing environmental and sanitation laws on factories, stores, and shops, while you need to reduce, reuse, and recycle the waste from your consumption. The concept of the right to a healthy environment is a fundamental human right that recognizes the interdependence between human well-being and the natural environment. This right is based on the understanding that every individual has a right to live in a clean, safe, and healthy environment, free from pollution, contamination, and other environmental hazards. The right to a healthy environment is not explicitly recognized in international human rights law, but it has been recognized by several regional human rights courts and treaties. For example, the African Charter on Human and People's Rights 1981 recognizes the right to a healthy environment as part of the right to dignity, while the European Convention on Human Rights 1950 recognizes the right to respect for private and family life, which includes protection against environmental harm.
If we have 8 consumers' rights, then we have 5 consumers' possibilities. We are given rights and that comes with responsibilities. So what exactly are the consumer responsibilities? First, critical awareness. Second, action. Third, social concern. Fourth, environmental awareness. And the last is solidarity. Critical awareness. The responsibility to be more alert and questioning about the use and the price and quality of goods and services we use. The first responsibility as consumers is to have critical awareness, which includes the thorough questioning of the correct value or price of our products or services purchased. So we must be alert to the price and quality of these products and services. Action. The responsibility to exert ourselves and act to ensure that we get a fair deal. Remember that as long as we remain passive consumers, we will continue to be exploited. Action. So, we need to be critical as buyers so that we are not stupid. And if there is such an opportunity, we experience our unfairness in the market, we can take action so that you can solve it immediately. Social concern. The responsibility to be aware of the impact of our consumption on other citizens, especially the poor, exploited, disadvantaged, or powerless groups, whether in the local, national, or international community. Third of our responsibility as consumers and the other buyers is the social concern. It is our responsibility as consumers to know the impact of products we buy on the people around us, whether they are part of the local, national, or international community. The environmental awareness. The responsibility to understand the environmental consequences of our consumption. We should recognize our individual and social responsibility to conserve natural resources and protect the earth for future generations. Fourth of the responsibility as consumer is environmental awareness. It is our responsibility as consumer to recognize and act on whether the product we are going to buy will be good or bad for our environment. Let's always remember in our hearts and practice the 3 R's we have: reuse, reduce, and recycle, so that our environment can be valued for future generations. And the last is solidarity. The responsibility to organize together as consumers to develop this trend and influence to promote and protect our interests. Our 5 responsibilities as consumer are solidarity. Every consumer should know that we have responsibility and ability and work together to protect our rights, consumers.
Okay, class. For you to further understand, we will watch a video in connected to rights and responsibilities of a consumer. So, listen and watch it carefully, guys.
Bilang isang consumer, ano sa tingin mo ang iyong mga karapatan?
Yan yung mga di ba? Right to product information. Yung parang ganon. Right to safe products.
Ayun ba yung right to choose good products?
Parang may karapatan ka to basic human needs.
Ano yun? Consumer right? Right to return and exchange ba yan?
Meron po bang right to good customer service?
Kaya mga kapwa-consumer, dapat alamin natin ang ating mga karapatan upang maging protektado tayo tuwing mamimili. Maging matalino, mapanuri at malayang mamimili.
ba na mayroon kang 8 basic rights bilang isang consumer? Ito ay ang right to basic needs, right to safety, right to information, at right to choose.
Lahat ng mamimili ay dapat i-exercise ang kanilang mga rights as consumers.
Para sa iba pang basic rights ng consumer, mayroon tayong right to representation, right to redress, right to consumer education, at right to a healthy environment.
Maliban sa mga ito, meron rin tayong responsibilidad bilang mga consumer.
Critical awareness, action, social concern, environmental awareness, and solidarity.
Bilang mga consumer, responsibilidad ng bawat isa ang maging alerto tungkol sa presyo at kalidad ng mga produktong binibili. Dapat maging matalino sa pamimili upang hindi maloko at maging sensitibo sa epekto ng pagkonsumo ng produkto at serbisyo. Higit sa lahat, dapat alam ng mga mamimili na bilang mga consumer, kaya nating lahat magsama-sama upang protektahan ang ating mga karapatan bilang mamimili. Maging matalinong mamimili. Laging tandaan na meron tayong consumer rights at responsibilities.
Okay, thank you. I hope that you understand, and as you watch the video, you clearly understand the rights and responsibilities of a consumer.
Did you know that you have a right as a consumer? So now, let's talk about Consumer Act of the Philippines. These days, the phrase consumer is being circulated very openly. In this presentation, we will tackle about the Consumer Act under RA number 7394 and its objective. First, let us recognize what is the RA number 7394 all about. Republic Act 7394, also known as the Consumer Acts of the Philippines, declares that this is the policy of the state to protect the interest of the consumer and promotes general welfare and to establish standards of conduct for business and industry, to implement measures to achieve, among others, to protection against deceptive, unfair, and unconsumable sales acts and practices.
Okay, class? Here are the objectives of legal protection of consumers and the consumers' rights and responsibilities. So we have the protection against hazard to health and safety. So as a consumer, we need to protect ourselves for buying any kind of products or goods to prevent any kind of illness when it comes to our health. Something like that. So the next one is protection against deceptive, unfair, and unconscionable acts and practices. So as I've said earlier, class, we have the protection by the law, and because sometimes a supplier will lead us to something other than the truth. That is why we need to think, and we have a lot of information about what we are buying, goods or any kind of products. So as a consumer, we have that kind of legal protection. And so the next one is provision of information and education to facilitate the proper exercise of rights by the consumer. So in this case, the supplier needs to provide a lot of information about what they are selling, products or goods and services. So we, the consumer, need to study what they are given information. They have given that kind of information to the goods, products, or services. Okay, next class. Provision of adequate rights and means of redress. So the supplier needs to provide a satisfactory about what they are selling products. As I've said earlier, we have that kind of legal protection to avoid illness in our life by the health and safety. And in this kind of situation, the supplier needs to provide a satisfactory to prevent redress. What do we mean by redress? It's an act of undesirable and unfairly situation to the consumer. So the last one, class, is involvement of consumer representatives in the formulation of social and economic policies. So as a consumer, we the consumer if we are gather ourselves in economic and social, we will be having a lot of information of what we are going, what we are doing. I mean, and example, we already know what is our protection, legal rights, and responsibilities. Sometimes social will help us to be a good consumer because they will teach us a lot of information of what we are going to do. So as a consumer, we will be having a good information to buy some good and services. So as a consumer, we already know what we are consume. This act consisting 173 articles divided into 6 titles. The title 1 is Article 1 to 4. Title 2, Chapter 1 to 3, Article 5 to 47. The Title 3, Chapter 1 to 7, Article 48 to 130. Title 5, Chapter 1 to 3, Article 148 to 166. And the last title, which is Title 6, Article 167 to 173.
Okay class, let us now proceed to the objectives of this law or legal protection, which is the Consumer Act of the Philippines. Okay, based on the second title and first chapter of the RA 7394, the objectives of this law is first to develop and provide safety and quality standards for consumers' product. We all deserve the good quality and services standards on each products or goods that we buy. Second, to assist the consumer in evaluating the quality. So we consumer need a guide for us to know our rights and for us to be a good consumer as we buy products or services. Okay? Third, to protect the public against unreasonable risk. Of course, we are protected by this law since it has articles and chapters which will protect us as a consumer. And the last one, to undertake research on quality and prevention of products related death, sickness, and injury. So this law also provide us the justice and fairness in terms of our health and safety. Okay, next. Let us now proceed to the second title and first chapter, which is the Consumer Product, Quality and Safety, and what are the articles that it contains. Okay? The Article 7, Scope of Implementing Agencies, where the agencies which implement this law or the Republic Act 7394, which is also known as the Consumer Act of the Philippines. Then Article 11, the department shall also direct the manufacturer, distributor, seller of such a product to extend any of all of the following remedies to the injured person. Then, to replace the product or refund the purchase price or to pay the consumer's reasonable challenges. We all deserve the changes or the refund of the products that are being damaged as they deliver it to us, as they provide it to us. Okay? Then, based on the Article 15, and it contains the law about the imported products. As the goods, services, or products are being imported to different nations, such as in the Philippines, it needed to be in a good condition, and it has a process for us to be delivered and to provide this kind of goods or services.
Title 2, Chapter 2, Food, Drugs, and Cosmetics Devices. The duty of the state. To protect the health of the consumer by ensuring a safe and good quality of foods, drugs, cosmetics, and devices, and to regulate their manufacture, sale, distribution, and advertisement. Title 2, Chapter 2, Food, Drugs, and Cosmetics Devices. Food. Article 23, Adulterated food. For example, the presence of salmonella on fresh fruits or vegetables or in a ready-to-eat meat or poultry products such as luncheon meats will render those products adulterated. So, ready-to-eat meat and poultry products contaminated with pathogens such as salmonella or listeria monocytogenes are adulterated. Article 24. Regulations of unprocessed food. A food regulation refers to the laws and administrative rules that regulate all aspects of the food supply chain, including supply, production, and distribution of the food products to protect and maintain food safety. So the 5 keys to safer food are: keep clean, separate raw and cook thoroughly, and keep food at safe temperatures. Drugs and devices. Article 29. Adulterated drugs and devices. Any drug or device is adulterated if any substance has been mixed or packed with it so as to reduce its quality or strength, or if any substance has been substituted, wholly or in part, for the drug or device. Example: caffeine, like heroin caffeine, is often found as an adulterant in MDMA and ecstasy. It is likely used simply as a bulking agent, but it could also contribute to the stimulant effect these drugs induce. Article 24. Dangerous drugs. A dangerous drug is a substance that can cause harm or be abused if not used properly. Example of dangerous drugs: alcohol. Alcohol is a commonly abused substance out for its ability to lower inhibitions, and nicotine is an extremely lethal substance according to the Centers for Disease Control and the most dangerous drugs. Article 30. Banned or restricted drugs cosmetics. For example, a shampoo is a cosmetic because its intended use is to cleanse the hair. An anti-dandruff treatment is a drug because its intended use is to treat dandruff. Consequently, an anti-dandruff shampoo is both a cosmetic and a drug. 35. Adulterated cosmetics. A cosmetic is any substance used to clean, improve, or change the complexion, skin, hair, nails, or teeth. Cosmetics include beauty preparations like makeup, perfume, skin cream, nail polish, and grooming aids like soap, shampoo, shaving cream, and deodorant.
Title 2, Chapter 3, Hazardous Substances. Declaration of Policy. The state shall adopt measures designed to protect the consumer against substances other than food, drugs, cosmetics, and devices that are hazardous to health and safety. The state shall ensure safe and good quality of foods, drugs, cosmetics, and device container, and regulate their production, sale, distribution, and advertisement to protect the health of the consumer. Any substance or mixture of substances which is toxic, corrosive, irritant, a strong sensitizer, flammable, or combustible, or generates pressure through decompositions, heat, or other means, if such substance or mixture may cause substantial injury or substantial illness. Hazardous substance means any substance or mixture of substances which is toxic, corrosive, irritant, or strong sensitizer, flammable, or combustible, or generates pressure through decompositions, heat, or other means, if such substance or mixture or substances may cause substantial injury or substantial illness during or proximate result or of any customary or reasonably forcible ingestion by children. Any substance which the department finds to be under the categories enumerated in clause of this paragraph. any radioactive substance if with respect to such substance as used in a particular class of article or as package, the department, upon approval of the department, determines by regulation that the substance is sufficiently hazardous to require labeling in accordance with his section in order to protect the public health. Any toy or other articles intended for use by children which the director may, by regulation, determine the presence of an electrical, mechanical, or thermal hazard. This term shall not apply to food, drugs, cosmetics, and devices, nor to substances intended for use as fuels when stored in containers and used in the heating, cooking, or refrigeration system of a house. But such term shall apply to any article which is not in itself a pesticide, but which is a hazardous substances. As a construed in clauses Article 9 of Paragraph 1 by reason of bearing or containing such harmful substances described therein. Any question? Okay, thank you.
So now let's talk about the Article 46 Prohibited Acts. It should be unlawful for any person to first, introduce or deliver for introduction into commerce of any miscible hazardous substances or ban hazardous substances. Second, alter, mutilate, destroy, obliterate, or remove the whole or any part of the labor of miscible, hard-use substances, or ban hard-use substances. If such act is done while the substances is in commerce or while the substances is held for sale, whether or not it is the first sale. And the third, receive in commerce and miscible hazardous substances or ban hazardous substances, and the deliver or prefer deliver, therefore, of cost or otherwise. Give the guarantee or undertaking referred to in paragraph B, Article 93, and paragraph B again of Article 45. Is such a guarantee or undertaking, if false, except by a person who relieved upon a guarantee of undertaking which he received in good faith. And the last, introduce, deliver, for introduction into commerce or receive and commerce and subsequently deliver or preferred at cost or otherwise, or horizontal substances. In a reuse, food, drug, cosmetic, and device container, or in a container which do not reuse container. It's identifiable as a food, drug, and cosmetic or device container by its labeling or by other identification. The use of food, drug, and food, drug, cosmetic, or device container for a hazardous substances, not diminish the danger posed by hazardous substances involved. Therefore, such substances should be therein admissible hazardous substances. So, any question about my topic, about my discussion? Anyone?
Title 3, Chapter 2, Regulation of Practices Relative to Weights and Measurements. Article 61, Implementing Agencies, The provincial, city, and municipal treasurers shall strictly enforce the provisions of this chapter and its implementing rules and regulations. Article 62. Sealing and testing instruments of weights and measurements. All instruments for determining weights and measurements in all consumer and consumer-related transactions shall be tested, calibrated, and sealed every 6 months by the official sealer. Article 61. The implementing agencies at the provincial, city, and municipal levels, specifically the treasurers, have a crucial role in enforcing the provisions of the chapter on local taxes and fees, as well as its implementing rules and regulations. This responsibility is outlined in Article 61 of the relevant legislation. The treasurers are responsible for ensuring compliance with the tax and fee policies, collecting revenues, and managing the financial resources of their respective local governments. They are also accountable for reporting and submitting financial data to higher authorities as required by the law. The strict enforcement of tax and fee policies by implementing agencies at the local level is essential to ensure fairness, transparency, and accountability in the collection and utilization of local revenues. Article 62. This article, which is part of a legal framework, outlines the requirements for sealing and testing instruments used to determine weights and measurements and consumer-related transactions. According to the article, these instruments must be tested, calibrated, and sealed every 6 months by an official sealer. This ensures that the instruments are accurate and reliable, which is crucial for fair trade practices and consumer protection. By enforcing this regulation, the government can prevent instances of fraudulent weighing or measuring, which can lead to unfair pricing or shortchanging of consumers.
Now, let's proceed to Title 3, Chapter 4, Labeling and Fair Packaging. Articles under Chapter 4. Article 77, Minimum Labeling Requirements for Consumer Products. All consumer products sold domestically, whether manufactured locally or imported, must contain the following information on their labels: correct and registered trade name or brand name, registered trademark, registered business name, and address of the manufacturer, importer, or repacker of the consumer product in the Philippines, general make or active ingredients, net quality of contents in terms of weight and country of manufacture if imported. Food labeling requirements in the Philippines. What to include? First, product name. The name of the food should be visible on the product label. Second, brand name. The registered trademark of a company's brand name must be printed on the label. This is a unique identifier that food label manufacturers should take note of. It is also registered with the FDA. Fourth, best before date. Expiration and use by dates are some of the most common information that consumers usually search for. It is an important marking that reassures product quality. Fifth, lot identification. This refers to the code that chooses a mix of numbers and letters in reference to the batch of products. This is crucial for product identification, and tracking must not be missed out by the food label manufacturers. 6. Storage provide consumers with essential information. Storage condition must also be found on product labels. This type of food packaging and labeling information will guide them in properly stocking food products after opening. 7. Ingredients food products should include labels that provide the complete details of the ingredients used. The required information based on food packaging and labeling standards is essential as they warn consumers of possible allergic reactions they may cause. 9. Nutritional information. Nutrients that are claimed to be in the product must be declared. It should include the number of nutrients and other vitamins and minerals that a product has.
Okay class, let's move on to the Article 78, which is the Philippine Product Standard Mark. Here's the example. So as an educated consumer, we're going to buy any kind of products when this Philippine Standard Mark is on the label because it is past the quality of a product. Okay, next class, Article 80. Special packaging of consumer products for the protection of the children. There is a product that has label saying that this product is harmful, keep away from children. And this is the best example for the labeling. Class, this kind of label is good for everyone to prevent any kind of illness, especially for the children. Okay class, next, Article 84. Additional labeling requirements for food. This article represents the expiration date, whether the product is semi-cooked, fully processed, or ready to eat, and if the ingredients used are natural or synthetic. Here, this is the example. So class, in this article, the supplier needs to put a information to the products to avoid food poisoning and to prevent any kind of harmful or illnesses into our body.
Okay class, for you to better understand, we will watch a video in connected to the Legal Protection or the Republic Act 7394, which is also known as the Consumer Act of the Philippines. Please watch this.
Magandang umaga! Mukhang maganda ang barong dito, ate. Saan ba yan gawa? Ginawa yan sa aming probinsya, ma'am. Ang tela po ay gawa sa Josepina, kaya makakasiguro kayo na maganda ang kalidad niyan. Sa itsura at pagkakayari pa lang, mukhang gawa nga ito sa mataas na kalidad ng tela. Pasensya na kayo sa pagiging mausisa ko. Kailangan lang maging mas maingat na ngayon dahil nagkalat na ang mga produktong hindi maayos ang pagkakagawa. Nako, tama lang po ang ginagawa nyo. Mabuti na maging maingat at matalino sa mga binibili natin ngayon. Tulad ni Marie, nararapat lang na maging mapanuri ka bilang mamimili para masigurong ang mga produkto o serbisyo na binabayaran mo ay naayon sa Consumer Act of the Philippines. Meron tayong batas na nagtatakda ng panuntunan pagdating sa mapaninlang, hindi makatwiran at hindi patas na kalakalan. Itinuturing na panlilinlang ang paglalagay ng benepisyo o sangkap sa label na wala naman sa mismong produkto. Ang produktong ibinebenta at sinasabing ito ay sumusunod sa pamantayan, may taglay na kalidad, uri o modelo, subalit ang katotohanan ay wala, ito ay isang uri ng panlilinlang. Pati na rin ang mga produkto na luma o segunda mano pero ibinebenta bilang brand new. Itinuturing na panlilinlang ang pagsasabi na maaaring bilhin ng produkto o serbisyo pero hindi naman pala maaari. Ang ibinebentang produkto na naiiba sa mga patalastas ay panlilinlang din. Itinuturing na panlilinlang kapag sinabi mong may inilagay ka o ginawa sa produktong binili pero ang totoo ay wala naman. Kapag sinabi na kailangang ayusin ang produktong nabili mo, subalit ang katotohanan ay hindi naman kailangang ayusin, ito ay panlilinlang din. Itinuturing na panlilinlang kapag sinabi ng nagbebenta na ang presyo ng produkto ay sulit dahil makakamura ka, subalit ang katotohanan ay wala naman itong pinagkaiba. Ang pagsasabi na mayroon o walang warranty ang isang produkto o ang paglalagay ng disclaimer of warranties ay isang panlilinlang kung mali ang warranty terms and provision nito. Itinuturing na panlilinlang ang paggamit ng imahe o pangalan ng isang tao, association o grupo upang magbukha na suportado nila ang ibinibentang produkto, subalit hindi naman. Ang Consumer Act of the Philippines ay mayroon ding mga panuntunan para maprotektahan lalo na ang mga mamimili na may kapansanan o ang mga taong hindi marunong bumasa at sumulat laban sa mapagsamantalang kalakalan. Kabilang narito ang pagpilit na pumirma sa isang kasunduan kahit hindi mo naiintindihan ang mga nilalaman nito. Kaya ipinapayo na huwag pumirma sa isang dokumento kung hindi mo ito lubos na nauunawaan. Itinuturing na hindi makatwira kapag itinaas ng nagbebenta ang presyo ng isang produkto para sa piling mamimili lamang. Hindi makatwira ng pagkumbinse na pumasok sa isang kasunduan kahit alam ng nagbebenta na wala sa kakayahan ng mamimili na bayaran ito. Ang pagpasok sa isang kasunduan na ang makikinabang lamang ay ang nagbebenta ay hindi rin patas. Maaari mong iulat ang mga mapanlinlang o hindi patas na pagbebenta o kalakalan sa mga wastong ahensya ng pamahalaan. Tandaan, maging mapagmatsyag at gawa ng aksyon ang hindi patas na pagbebenta.
Okay class, thank you. I hope that you enjoy learning while we are watching the video and connected to our protections and rights as a consumer.
So, what are the agency that implements the Consumer Act of the Philippines or RA 7394? First, the Department of Trade and Industry, DTI. The Department of Trade and Industry urge Filipino consumers to always assert their rights and practice their responsibility at all times, especially the pandemic where transactions are mostly done online. Second, Department of Health DOH. More broadly, consumer also describe health holistically involving components of mental, emotional, and physical health. They state all these elements must work together in contributing to good health.
Okay class, that ends our discussion for today. And just always remember that as a consumer, we have so much power to change the world by just being careful on what we buy. That is from Emma Watson, so just keep that into your mind class. And for your activity for today, you need to create a reflection paper about our topic for today. Okay class, do you understand? And next meeting, you will create a performance. I will group you into 6 and you need to present a 15 to 20 minutes skit, and that will be presented next meeting. So you need to create a skit about awareness on rights and responsibilities of a consumer. And that's all class for today. So don't forget to bring your props and materials next meeting, and as well as don't forget to practice and create your role play, so for you to present it next meeting also. Okay, that's all class. Good day and thank you.